When considering how to support muscle strain recovery or recovery in general, a starting point is that mechanisms play a major role. Several internal physiological systems either support or obstruct the recovery process. The bicarbonate buffer system is one of the most significant and one of the most consistently overlooked, and purpose nutrition can make a constructive difference. Both traditional and modern sciences recognize that muscle recovery is pH dependent, and that the enzymatic processes involved in tissue repair, protein synthesis, and energy restoration all operate within a narrow acid-base range. The bicarbonate buffer system is what holds that range. When the system is chronically under pressure from diet, stress, or accumulated acid load, the internal environment is physiologically less conducive to recovery. Addressing the upstream mechanism can make a difference. We explore this in some detail. It's scientifically recognized that the body maintains blood pH within a precise range, 7.35 to 7.45. This is a physiological requirement. The primary system responsible for holding this range is known as the carbonic acid bicarbonate buffer system. It is the most abundant extracellular buffer in the human body. The range stays stable, but how hard your body has to work to keep it there depends largely on what you eat. Our cells produce carbon dioxide as a byproduct. The body converts it into bicarbonate, which it uses to neutralize acid in the blood. Too much acid, bicarbonate buffers it. Too little, the system eases back. The lungs and kidneys manage either side of this continuously, automatically, without any input from us. The kidneys are the primary regulators of bicarbonate production. Observations suggest that they reabsorb approximately 85 to 90% of filtered bicarbonate through the proximal tubules and can generate additional bicarbonate through a process called ammoniagenesis. The lungs provide rapid compensation by controlling how much carbon dioxide is exhaled. These systems work in continuous coordination to maintain the acid-base set point. Diet is the principal source of dietary acid load. Foods high in processed protein, refined carbohydrates, and alcohol consistently produce the highest acid burden on the buffer system. Chronic stress, poor sleep, and low physical activity compound this, each contributing to the overall strain through separate physiological pathways. The functional window is precise and narrow. Below 7.35 is metabolic acidosis. Above 7.45 is metabolic alkalosis. Both states are physiologically disruptive. Optimal function is not found at either extreme. It is sustained through balance within this range. The distinction matters because functional health depends on the buffer system holding the center consistently. What we regularly eat determines how hard the body has to work to stay in balance. Foods high in processed protein types, refined carbohydrates, and alcohol leave an acid residue the body has to neutralize, drawing down on its bicarbonate reserves each time. For example, a 2023 analysis found that higher dietary acid load was associated with markers of inflammation, disrupted blood sugar regulation, and increased cardiovascular strain. When the body is under chronic acid load, even at a low level, it quietly shifts resources toward neutralizing that burden rather than recovery. Muscle repair slows down. The system that degrades muscle proteins speeds up. The point is simply to be clear that blood pH itself does not visibly shift. What shifts is how hard the system has to work to prevent it from shifting. That workload is what interferes with recovery. The body regulates this by default. Understanding the system becomes relevant when everyday factors, diet, stress, lifestyle, begin to influence how efficiently it does so. Some degree of soreness is a normal part of the recovery process. What is worth distinguishing here is something different: the cumulative, ongoing strain placed on the buffer system over time. When that strain is consistent, the internal environment shifts in ways that can quietly work against recovery rather than support it. One signal worth paying attention to is recovery time. If soreness consistently outlasts what your effort level should produce, and sleep, hydration, and nutrition are reasonably in order. The internal chemical environment may be a contributing factor worth considering. Recovery is individual and varies from person to person. Types of food can make a difference. Vegetables, fruits, legumes, and nuts don't directly change blood pH. The body handles that. But they support a lower acid load, which the buffer system has to handle. Less load supports less strain on the system. And that system matters more than most of us realize. Energy production, immune function, hormone response, tissue repair, muscle recovery, and the strain we feel around it all interlink within a pH-dependent range. When the buffer system is chronically under pressure, it has an impact on these processes. Understanding this is a practical starting point for anyone thinking seriously about muscle recovery. This also interlinks with our complex carbohydrate series and their role in recovery. Based on individual suitability and health status, subscribe, go deeper with holistic high-performance health.